If you are new to the world of SEO, I need you to know that this is going to be a forever testing and tweaking process. The art of getting results when it comes to SEO is really strengthening the muscle to be able to look at data and make decisions based off of that data. But if you're hearing this, you're just like, I don't even know what you're saying, girl. So that is why I'm creating this video, because I always have clients and students wondering if I can kind of walk through an example of maybe some things that I would change and update to a blog post based on data. And that's what we're going to do in today's video. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I'm Mariah from MariahMagazine.com, and on this channel, I help simplify things like SEO, websites, tech, and I dive into tools and recommendations to help you grow your online business in a way that works for you. So in today's video, we're going to go behind the scenes, and I'm going to walk you through my process of how I would change or update a blog post based on data and results that I'm finding. So without further ado, let's kick it into the screen share. Okay, so for this walkthrough, we are just going to use one of my current consulting clients' websites. So frandickinson.com, she's a local photographer. So we're just going to use some tools to take a look at the data behind her website. So my favorite tool of choice is SEMrush. And so you don't actually have to have a paid account in order to take a look at the things that I'm looking at. They do offer a free account. It's just kind of hidden. If you want to know how to start using SEMrush for free, I will leave a link to how to sign up for a free account in the video description box below. But essentially we are under SEO, organic research, and I'm currently hanging out in the positions tab. So we'll scroll down. We see that her site is currently being found for 21 keywords, traffic of 1. It's not very accurate, and I just want to point this out that SEMrush is third-party data. Okay, so it's very, very helpful to be able to see like a bird's eye view and like an overview of your SEO data, but it is not the end all be all, okay? Google Search Console is actually way more reliable because Google Search Console is using first party data. Okay, so we can just see in Fran's Google Search Console account, she actually got 38 clicks from Google over to her website in 28 days, where SEMrush is only saying 1. Okay, so if you're seeing numbers in here, I don't want you to get discouraged. Always go back and double check things from Google Search Console. But I will say I enjoy using SEMrush because how easy it is to look at data without having to click around too much. Okay, so if we scroll down here, we can see the keyword modern portrait photography. So my client is currently in position 9, and this is the blog post that is showing up in position 9 for this specific keyword. Okay, so what we're going to do, we can open up and just take a look at this blog post because this is the one that we are going to update. Okay, because if we're in position 9, that means that we're probably either at the bottom of page 1 of search results or at the top of page 2. So there's usually on average 10 organic searches per page, depending on what is being pulled into the page itself, depending on the keyword. Okay, so there's a lot of nuance when it comes to SEO, but I basically just want to Google search this keyword to get a better understanding of like, how does Google view this keyword? What kind of content is showing up here? Okay, so if we scroll down, okay, so there's some images, there's a Pinterest board, there's lists of like 10 portrait photographers you should follow right now, YouTube videos, Smithsonian. There is another portrait photographer from Long Island. And then if we go to page 2, we are actually going to find my client's blog post. So I will say that she is the only one that is ranking in the top whatever numbers for like what is modern portrait photography. So that's definitely something to lean into because we could essentially start climbing the ranks in either this specific keyword Or we might be able to get found for other keywords that are more in line with like what is modern portrait photography if we beef this blog post up a little bit. And also this blog post was published over a year ago, and so it could definitely use a little zhuzhing up. But I just want to see actually what's showing up for what is modern portrait photography. And my client is getting quoted in the AI section right here. So we know that like we don't want to completely ignore this blog post, and we definitely don't want to create a brand new blog post and hope that that one ranks instead of this one. No, 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 no. What we actually want to do is come back into this blog post and update it. Okay, so you're probably like, and how would you suggest updating it? The first thing is like, we want to take a look at the content that we have here. So at quick glance, it's not really super helpful, especially if we want to start getting found for modern portrait photography. Like we want to be at the source, the blog post when people type this in and they're looking for information to figure out more information about like, what is this thing, and learn the perspective of what it is from a professional photographer. And if we want to start being associated for other secondary keywords, like what is modern portrait photography, or even like what is portrait photography, like all of those secondary keywords we could start being found for if we just made this blog post a little bit more helpful. So I'm just going to use a Google Chrome extension that I have right here. I'm going to right click and I'm going to check the word count for this. So the number of words for this blog post is 443. Now, I'm not saying that your SEO rankings are all based on word count, but I know from being in this space for 10 years that this is not a very in-depth post. And so I'm not saying that now we have to turn this into like a 2,500 word blog post, because it's also not really about the length of the content. It's more about the helpfulness of the content. So I can tell, like I said, just by looking at this, that we definitely have some gaps that we can fill, especially if the title is "What is Modern Portrait Photography?" I'm sure that there's plenty of things that we can say. So if you're looking at your blog post and you're trying to improve the rankings of it, I want you to take a look at where you already are, and I want you to look at your blog post and be honest with yourself. Like, is this as in depth as I can go? Or do you think that I can add some additional sections here to kind of beef this up and be really, really supportive for the person that's looking to learn what modern portrait photography is? Okay, and so if you're having a hard time doing that, you can absolutely take a look at like the other blog posts that are showing up on Google, and you can scroll them and just be like, okay, what kind of content do they have? So the other person that is showing up in the AI search results for what is modern portrait photography, it's way more in depth. Look at all these links that they have, like internal links. We have different sections. It's longer. There's just like more beef to this. Okay, so we want to use this as inspiration to come back in and to update our own blog post, because the whole thing is like, if we want to get on page 1 for a specific keyword, we have to be the best solution to the problem. And if 150 other people are writing a blog post about what is modern portrait photography, it's like, how are we going to become the best solution to the problem? It has to be by us thoroughly explaining and being super, super helpful in terms of like what information somebody would want to learn when they were searching for this. And you're just like, Mariah, I don't even know like what the heck to add to this blog post. If I knew what to add, I would have added it before. And if you're thinking that, that is fair. And that is where AI can come in. Okay, so I've already tested this with AI here. And so it's just like a random ChatGPT prompt. I literally just said, hey, can you help me improve my blog post and make it more SEO friendly and optimized? Right now I'm ranking at the top of page 2 for the keyword modern portrait photography, and I'd like to improve this. My goal for the post is to showcase my expertise as a professional portrait photographer, and I'd like this blog post to be educational and supportive because it will become a pillar piece of content on my website. Because that's the thing. I don't want you to just look at blog posts and be like, hey, I need to create a blog post every week. No, you don't. You need to create like a really solid piece of content that like you love so much that it ends up becoming a reusable asset in your business. So next time somebody asks you, hey, what's the difference between like modern portrait photography and like, I don't know, old school portrait photography? You're like, oh, I have a blog post for that. Or if you're trying to think of content for social media, like this blog post is so so dang helpful that you're like, oh, I could definitely pull ideas from this one piece. Okay. So that's how I want you to start thinking of your blog posts, not just like a random thing that you have to do in order to stay fresh on Google. That doesn't work anymore. Okay. So then I gave ChatGPT the information on my blog post. So I know some people will just like pop the URL into ChatGPT and be like, here, scan my blog post. I just don't trust it. I'm just like, I don't even think that you're scanning it the way that I want you to. So I prefer to copy and paste the information. So I outlined what the title is, and then I pasted in the content. Okay, so after doing all of that and being very clear on what I needed and what my goal was and what I already have, this is what it spilled back. Okay, so it gave me some keyword focuses. Not sure if I like all of these. Like, I don't think I like contemporary. Timeless portraits is like even more vague than modern portrait photography. I would ignore that. Professional studio portraits, I'm not opposed to that. So also keep in mind that like AI can be wrong. And then it gave us some title ideas. Don't really like that, especially if we're diving really deep into like the what is the modern portrait photography, and this blog post is already getting pulled in AI. I don't really want to like mess with the title too much. Okay, so I would probably ignore these. And then the meta description right here, to be honest, I actually don't hate this. Let's just see how long it is. So it's 135 characters. We usually have around 155 to 160 characters. So if we did want to update the meta description for this blog post, I would just try to use as much of those characters as possible. Okay, but let's get into the content suggestions. So restructuring. So it's got, here's the proposed outline. And so here's the thing, the H1 heading, that's the blog post title. Okay, so even if AI tries to tell you add like another H1 heading, don't do it. Your blog post title should naturally already be in H1 headings, and we only want one H1 heading per page or post. So just keep that in mind. But look at all of the incredible ideas that it gave us. Like, we didn't have the benefits of a studio. We didn't have my approach to modern studio portraits. This is really great because Fran offers a service as a portrait photographer in her local community. So this is going to be very, very, very helpful if somebody locally finds this blog post from her. Okay. And then like how to prepare for a session, that might be really great. It also might be an incredible like interlinking opportunity. So like maybe she has another blog post on her site that teaches people like how to prepare for a portrait photography session with a professional. Okay, cool. Can we give just like a short paragraph, just like a really quick overview in this new updated article, and then link to the full other blog post article talking about how to prepare for a photography session? So that's a really great idea. And then honestly, these content improvements, these are great. Add internal links. That's kind of exactly what I was going over. Add a few client examples, especially because she's a photographer. I don't want to see just one photo here. Like, girl, I want to see more photos of your work. Show me examples. And then definitely fill out the alt text for that. Okay, so let's go back. You can add an FAQ section, sprinkle in keywords naturally. Like, all of this is really good ideas. But if you are going to use AI to generate ideas for you, please don't think that it knows way more than you do, especially about your industry. Like, if you're just like, actually, this feels really forced and awful, and as a user, this would not be helpful at all, it would just feel weird, then don't add it. Okay, just use these as ideas in order to beef up this content. Okay, and then please remember to use, I think that it says it here, let's add H2 and H3 headers. That's very important, especially in the age of AI. We want to use H2 and H3 headings for content hierarchy. Okay, so right here, I already checked this, and this is an H3 heading that she has. I would change this to an H2 heading. And then if she's going to break down more content underneath this section, that's when you would use an H3 heading. Okay, so we kind of have to use it content hierarchy. We have the H1 at the top, that's the title. No more H1 headings. If we're breaking down content within the H1, then we're going to do the H2. Breaking down content within the H2, we're using the H3. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But ChatGPT can be your friend here. Just be very, very clear on your goal and like what you're looking for it to do. And then I always recommend pasting the content in here. Another tool that you can do, and you can test this tool for free, is Write Blogger. So I will leave a link to this in the video description box below. It is an affiliate link, but it's only because I literally love the people behind it. I love using it. It's great. But in Write Blogger, they have a tool. It's called Content Gap. And so what you do is you put in your blog post URL, and then you can put in the blog post URL of a competitor or somebody else that's showing up for a related keyword on Google. And so we scroll down, it basically breaks down the content gaps, like what the other person has that you don't have in yours. And then it breaks down opportunities and how to improve your article. Okay, so like both of these options are really good. It kind of just depends like which tool you want to play with. Like, do you feel comfortable prompting, or would you prefer a AI tool that just breaks it down like this with just popping in some URL? And then the last thing that I want to mention is at the end of the blog post, in the middle of the blog post, or whenever it makes sense, especially if you are a service provider or if you have services that are related to the content of this blog post, link to your services pages, or if you have products, link to your product pages. Okay, so make it very easy for users to learn about the options that you have for them. Okay, so interlinking your pages, your blog posts, your services, your about page, if you're talking about your approach and whatever, like maybe it makes sense to link to your about page. Okay. And then if you are citing sources, like maybe you're adding data that you found or a study or something like that, make sure that you are having those external links open in a new tab. Very important. But basically, after you go through and you kind of update this blog post, what you can do is you can change that publish date so that when Google posts it right here, this date will change because it's updated content. Okay, so you don't have to keep this old date if you don't want to. The only caveat here when it comes to updating the publish date of a blog post is you don't want to do it if you actually have the blog post publish date part of your URL. So my client, you can see up here, she does not. If you do, you might not want to change the publish date because it could mess with the URL and then it could end up creating a broken link. Okay, but you can update the publish date, and then after that, I would go to Google Search Console and I would resubmit this blog post to Google so that Google will recrawl the URL and then hopefully adjust the rankings accordingly. So I will say that like you probably aren't going to see your rankings for this shoot up overnight, but I would keep your eyeballs on it for the next 60 days, the next 90 days, especially if you're going to be strategic and you're going to drive traffic to this blog post. So after you update it, that's a huge thing that people skip, is sharing this blog post. Like you just took time to update it based on data. And so you know that people are literally searching for this, and they're searching for the content because your blog post is already showing up a little bit for it. So you know that this is helpful. So share it with your email list, share it on social media, share it on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on Threads, on whatever you're using. Create a YouTube video about it, whatever, but like get the juice from this content. You spent time creating it. Now share it with your people. And then what that will do is it will kind of like give little user experience signals to Google, and then your Google rankings might start increasing sooner than later because Google's like, oh shoot, like there's traffic being driven to this blog post. This blog post must be super helpful. Okay, so I went through a lot of things. I word vomited a whole lot, but hopefully me breaking down my thought process and how to think about these things and like walking through a real life example, hopefully that was helpful. And if you need a tutorial on how to resubmit a blog post to Google, I will leave a link to that tutorial in the video description box below. But other than that, that's my word vomit on this. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you guys found this video helpful, give me a really quick thumbs up. The simple thumbs up does go a long way in letting the YouTube algorithm know that my video is helpful, and therefore hopefully pushing it out to more people. And if you have any questions or if you have any ideas for new videos, go ahead and pop those ideas or questions in the comment section below. I use your feedback, your questions, and your comments in order to inspire new videos on this channel. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications, notifications, and I will see you in the next video.